What's popping off, yo? This is Be Real. This is the Dr. Greenthumb Podcast with my co-host, Dougie the Wolf, C Minus, DJ Lenny Ducano.
What up, what up?
Skinny Pablo.
Big up.
E-Zone. And our two very special guests, my family, my brothers, Mr. Cartoon, and Estevan Oriol. You know what I'm saying? Soul Assassins and stars of LA Originals. Hey, I want to congratulate you, my bros, because that shit is off the hook. It's on fire. Everybody's talking about it.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, brother. Scan's a beast with that.
Hey, I know that you guys have been working on this, for quite a while, man. And the journey, has extended that, more so than even like when you originally started the piece and shit. I think it's an incredible job what you guys did to expose people to what the journey was and like how you guys touched everything in Los Angeles and West Coast hip hop, and not just West Coast hip hop. Y'all touched the East Coast too. I mean, y'all influenced a whole different get down that came into hip hop through the style that the crew made. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Through the photography, through the ink, through the illustrations and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? It's a great story. And I was glad to be a part of it, and tell my end of it for y'all, man, because I don't think you guys get enough credit in terms of how you guys influenced, hip hop. Because before you guys, really, there wasn't a lot of ink on any of these rappers. I mean, I was the first one to get inked, Muggs and myself. We started taking pictures, and then when Toon came into the game, he put the real ink on us, and everybody we saw was like, yo, where did you get that? Who did that?
What's that first piece?
And then, eventually, bringing Toon on tour with us, because, Estevan's been on tour with us for years. And when that happened and everybody started, all the right people started seeing the work, they wanted that work.
That's crazy. I mean, I think it kind of started off like me and Estevan trying to figure out how we could contribute artistically to the crew. You know what I mean? And it wasn't so planned out. It wasn't such a big view, but we would, dream of the idea of a crew because the Wu-Tang was so big at that time. The Dog Pound, and Cypress Hill was like, the Latino version of that shit. So we were like, man, how could we compete, or how could we are competitive, but in a hip hop way, you know what I'm saying? And I could do graffiti and I could draw. And so Stefon was like, man, you should do the stage design, or you should do some tour merch. And then when I started tattooing, you guys were the first platinum artists I had tattooed. So with me and E, like a tag team, we covered the visual end, Right, E?
Yes, sir. We sure did. It pretty much started when we were on tour with Goody Mob. We had done a show it was at a college, and we got along real good with Cujo, Gibbs, Cee Lo, and T. And then I was showing them my tattoos, and I was like, you should, if you come to LA, you should get tatted up by the homie Toon. And they're like, yeah. And then I go, hey, check out B's tattoos too. He's got some sick ones. And they were like, man, when we get to LA, we're gonna hit you up for sure. We're gonna come through. And Goody Mob came through to LA. And at that time, I think you were airbrushing the ice cream truck in South Central. And you tattooed him there, right?
Yeah.
First time we tattooed him in South Central in the parking lot, kind of like in the Cartoon was airbrushing the ice cream truck at this car shop / during the day it was a car wash, and it was called Buckets on San Pedro and 32nd. Shout out to Elton. And then they came through there and they got tattooed right there next to the ice cream truck when it was like halfway done. And then ended up coming to the shop. The first shop Tunes worked at with Baby Ray on Hollywood Boulevard called LA Tattoo. They all came there and they, Ray got in there, Dennis, and, the whole group got tattooed by Ray, Dennis, and Tune. And from there, those guys went home to their dungeon family and showed Outcast. Then when Big Boy came from Outcast, he got tatted up, and it was on and cracking.
Wow.
We already knew the words to their songs and shit, you know what I'm saying? We were like, man, that's Cee Lo, he's going to go somewhere someday, But they were like kids, you know what I mean? And so were we, and they loved you guys. I mean, that was one of the main reasons they trusted to go into South Central like that, is to, that they love Cypress. So those guys are open-minded, man. They're cool as fuck, and they're artists. So they seen it right away, that how a crew's supposed to do it.
The shit that I was always happy to see is how everybody's crew embraced you guys. You know what I mean? Like they I think that was a key thing that kept y'all in the streets and kept everything that was happening within the crew relevant and stuff like that. You were able to be around these different heads and not just us. I mean, we all started together, but we all eventually branched out to do different fucking things individually and collectively and all that stuff. But, it was crazy because knowing the origins, right? Estevan, a lot of people don't know, but he was a part of our first album cover, in terms of shooting that, you know what I mean? When he was paying his dues, right? You were working with Mike Miller on that.
Yeah, I was doing Mike was up on the ladder and I was out there, setting the fire to the trash can and making the smoke and doing, because it was like a big area. So he was posted up on the ladder and he's like, hey, can you move this over there, move that over there? So I was running around, trying to make that shit all look perfect for that first album cover and that first, I think it was a Killer Man single.
Yeah.
When you guys were in his dad's metal salvaging place.
Yeah. And
there was smoke coming through the wood slots right there. And the light was coming through there. It just looked sick.
I mean,
that was in 91,
Back then, did you ever see yourself going from assisting guys like Mike to then, years later shooting covers and videos for artists your damn self?
I wasn't even paying attention, I was just doing it for the $150 a day. I wasn't looking how he was loading his camera or, I didn't really. It wasn't interesting to me, I was just there. It was like a job, hey, I got this photo shoot. You want to come and help me? I'll give you $150 for the day. I was like, hell yeah. Then I would go do a club later that night and get another 100, 150, 200. So that was my hustle. I'd do construction. I would, assist him here and there. And then I would do club work at night. So I always had, 2-3 jobs. And it wasn't until my pops was like, hey, man, you're on tour with House of Pain and you're building your Lolo in East LA. You should take pictures. And I was like, that's not really my thing, And I started busting out the camera a little bit here and there. And it kind of snowballed from there, authentically, it wasn't like I was trying to be a photographer.
Right. It was
organic.
Anything
like that. Organic. That was the word I was looking for. It just came about organically. And I think that's one of the things that made it happen so good, is that I wasn't trying too hard. I wasn't trying to be that guy. I was really staying in my lane, being the tour manager and making sure that everybody was cool. And I would snap off a few shots here and there.
Right.
Like you could see in the Woodstock footage, my main goal was taking care of B and making sure that motherfuckers didn't pull him down to the ground or just rip him apart. Or, some fools are they're kind of evil,
yeah.
Some fools are I seen people jump off of the stage, not our guys, But I seen other band members jump off stage and fools are taking pop shots at them, you know, and trying to like fuck them up. Like everybody had so much love for B and Sen that they never came funny at them like that. But you could easily fall down into that crowd and get trampled on. So my first concern was making sure B was safe. And then it was like, well, I'm right here. He's doing his line, and I might as well pop off a shot. And I got, 6 shots of him and Sen down there in the crowd at Woodstock in 1994. One of the biggest shows and concerts to ever happen in the world. And that was sick for me,
Hey, would you say, Stefon, that you developed your eye on the road? Like that's where it like came to be? Because Everlast mentioned something in the documentary where you guys would have all these photographers. You know how it is. All these magazines show up. They all get like their first 3 songs, snapping 1,000 photos each. And he said you would come out and literally just whip the camera up, pop, 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 and done. And you would capture the moment just with those 3-4 pictures you took. Was it like that a lot for you?
Yeah, and then now that I think about it, I wish I did shoot more, because I feel like I knew I got what I needed and I wanted to show that story, but there was a lot of stuff that I missed out on because I wasn't so aggressive with the camera, Right. And, it is what it is. There's no turning back time. I got what I got. I got a lot of photos that tell the stories of what it was like low riding in LA in the 90s, what it was like in hip hop touring the world with a multi-platinum, I think at that point it was like at 18 million albums sold.
Wow.
Touring the world, going to 44 countries with your friends, with your brothers. To me, it was like, most tour managers, as you know, Dougie, they're crew guys,
Right.
And once that tour is over, the last week that they're on that month-long tour, they're setting up their next gig.
Right.
And I never did that. I toured with House of Pain, 92, 93, 94, and I toured with Cypress Hill, 94 to 2005, and that's it.
So there's nothing better than that, going on the road with like a brotherhood like that. It's just a whole different thing.
Like I went on the road on one tour with Candlebox, which was Maverick Records' first band.
Correct.
And I went on tour with Proper Grounds also. They were really the first band, but Candlebox was the second one. And, Proper Grounds were the homies from the clubs in L.A., DJ Slang, Sandman, and all them. And then I went on with Candlebox, their first promo tour. And they were all cool, but I couldn't see myself touring with a band with a bunch of guys that I didn't know and living on a bus.
Yeah, it's weird.
A bunch of guys that I never knew. Like, you're on there, in a tight quarters. Motherfuckers are farting, getting drunk, throwing up.
Yeah, messy.
Yeah, it was like guys live like pigs and stuff. But being on the road with Cypress, with your homies, with your brothers, like, our bus was always tight. It was always clean. It was everybody like knew their role. Like everybody like, hey homie, throw your shirt in the bus. Your mom ain't here, and we could talk to each other like that because we were family. We were brothers.
Yes.
And we could clown motherfuckers and go, hey man, take your stinky ass shoes and put them in your bunk.
Yeah.
We had it like that. But if you were on tour with some fucking fools you didn't know, you couldn't really do all that because right away it'd be a conflict, and you probably wouldn't be on that tour the next week.
Correct.
Tension happens right then and there. If it's not a family situation and it's crew and that's all it is, that person may get sent home the very fucking next day. Into that shit.
I mean, look how many people got sent on home on all our tours. We helped like 50 homies out, bringing them out on the road, and a lot of fools couldn't hang. And they got sent home. Some of them got sent home right straight to a mental institution. Some of them, like motherfuckers really lost their mind out there. It was a trip,
Yeah, it's not for everybody. It's not for everybody. Not like, you could take someone who dreams about getting out the hood, but the minute they're away from their mama for like 2 weeks, hey man, I gotta go home.
Yeah, fuck this shit. Like, I ain't about this. Go home then.
Church,
you asked to come out here. We didn't ask you to come out here.
Hey man, I gotta say, you know, when Tune's name started spreading out there, when your name started spreading out there, and even before then, motherfuckers who saw you on the come up, that were seeing you on the come up, they were, you know, they say that imitation is, you know, a form of flattery, right?
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of motherfuckers, you must be flattered like a motherfucker, because there was a lot of imitation going on with your style. Like, I feel like every company that did something in the last 10 years took from what, you know, they were influenced by you for sure. Like, you see that constantly. Like, you know, they were, I mean, because you're a master of many different fields, right? Obviously, you were doing the airbrushing, you were doing the graph on the wall, and then, you know, the hardest shit is the skins. And, you know, you blasted your style on there and unapologetically and let people know. It's like the same thing when hip hop, when you hear a Public Enemy record, you know it's a Public Enemy record, and because it has that feel, it has that sound, it's got that shit that makes it a Public Enemy record. And it's sort of the same thing when you attack a project. There's a cartoon stamp that goes on a project, and I feel like a lot of motherfuckers like took from your game and did that, and then not even changed it and made it their own. You know, sort of like ganked it like a motherfucker. But the cool thing is that you've never called anyone out, and you just kept it pushing forward and make them chase you. And that's what I love about your shit. They always have to chase you. Ain't nobody catching up.
Thank you, bro. That's a good question, man. Observation, because it's difficult, you know, because you know how it is. Like, you write a rhyme, I'll do a piece. We're members in hip hop, right? So either you DJ, you know, you're a popper, you're a breaker, you write on walls, you know, you're a rapper, you know, like there's all. So it was like even us putting photography in there was important. To have that element in there. So I think with E jumping in there, like, instead of someone, oh, look at the little break dancers and shooting them, it's getting shot from one of us from the inside out, right?
Yeah.
And then so art, that had to start to evolve too, because graffiti writers, we had to go get jobs, we had to go do other shit. So I had to learn other tools, man. I got interested in fashion. I got interested in doing album covers, and it was kind of my way to get in. But my mind was always that of a graffiti writer. Like, you don't buy nobody's shit. You can't ever get caught slipping and someone say, oh, man, what's up? So you always, even if my shit's fucked up, it's mine. Like, even if you don't like it, it's mine. So that was my goal, was for people to recognize my shit without me signing it. And it's not easy to do in LA because there's a lot of good artists, man. But if you stick to be you and you try to do shit that people can identify with, or that they makes them feel good, or that has fluidity, then that's when you're doing your thing. And I think it's just repetition. And, you know, people I think they're polite. They're trying to be polite. They're trying to be kind. And they'll give you titles like, oh, you're blessed, Holmes, you know. Or, man, you're lucky, dog. You know, you're able to do that shit. And they put these type of titles. And I don't believe that. I don't believe I'm blessed. I don't believe I'm lucky. I'm skilled. I found out what it is I love, so I'm passionate. And then I put decades of work behind it, and I'm skilled. So I built a skill.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not as like I've been zapped. Like in the documentary, I said my mom told me I was gifted from God, and she told me so many times I believed that shit. So I thought I had like special powers. You know what I'm saying?
That's
like
dope.
My mom said I got special powers.
That's dope.
Clean my room and shit. You know, like it fucked me up. Like it was
a cold piece right there.
My parents brainwashed me that I was fucking amazing. And then like
that's dope.
other parents can tell you you ain't shit and you ain't gonna be shit.
Right.
So I won like the lottery. If there's luck, I guess it was my parents, the cum lottery. Where unfortunately, my old man had to fuck my mom, right? The idea of anybody fucking my mom gets me mad. But at least it was my old man. But then when he fucked my mom and gave me my brother, and I go, hey, Pops, it's bad enough you F my mother, but then you leave me this guy to take care of me. Nah, but that ain't got nothing to do with art skills. But that shit is funny because you know my brother.
Hey, but you're a competitor from day one. You beat all the others to the fucking to the door, dog.
That's right. You be one right there, man.
I'm the fastest.
Hey, I didn't even answer your question, man. But just like how people nowadays, I listen to rap music. I try to stay on top of shit, man. Fuck that shit. There's some bomb ass shit out right now, but some of it really sounds like Dude. How can Dude go to bed at night knowing he sounds just like that other rapper?
Right.
I mean, exactly.
There's a lot of that right now.
Yeah.
That
Nowadays,
nuts.
I don't know how 90% of them can sleep at night lip syncing over their CDs. Like
that's crazy.
Doing live shows like Be Real. You can go to a show and Be Real sing every single lyric.
Yeah.
Live with nothing underneath it. Only the track is live. I mean, only the track is playing underneath it, but every lyric he's spitting is live. And if you can tell, because if he forgets one word, you won't hear it on the track.
I was going to say, nowadays they call that shit inspired by.
Ooh. No, how about they say inspo?
Inspo. That's the new talk.
That's my
they hit me with the inspo, and my daughter said they want to go to Starbs.
Like, oh wow!
Cartoon,
everything.
Cartoon. Speaking about being inspired, you've tattooed a lot of people from like Be Real, Method Man, Kobe Bryant, 50 Cent. Is there anyone that when you tattooed that you were like inspired by this person? You were like, it was like, what was your most memorable tattoo?
Wow, I mean there's a dozen of them. We could do a whole podcast just on that shit.
Probably mine, huh?
So, but when I tattooed Estevon, it was like magical. In some of the ways, it kind of sounds like we're dating in this movie. You know what I'm saying? Like my mom goes, yeah, Mijo came home and said, Mom, I found this guy. And I'm like, hey, man, that's just going to come off right, man. But you got to let that shit slide. I even let the karate picture slide. Fuck it. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? I was wondering about that during the documentary if you proved all the old pics of you.
Well, we gave them to him, I mean, I went in my mom's box. My mom had this, shoe box of pictures.
The memory box.
Fuck, man. In 1983, it was cool to grow your hair long in the back.
Oh, yeah. No joke.
Yeah, get a mini truck. The girls had their hair,
10 feet high.
Fucking aquanetted up here. And it was a different time, man. It was like right before hip-hop took over everything. And like Latin freestyle music. They were older, huh? These guys were little, but Tony G.
Yeah.
These guys they already had mini trucks. They had gold on and shit. We were like, damn, motherfuckers are ballers. Anyways, man, so let all that shit go. We can go just on that to talk about it. But yeah, I think this movie has something to do with originality. I just kind of surrendered to it, B. Like you said, not going to go at war with everyone that uses my teeth. Like, I've done shit on accident, and motherfuckers bite that shit.
Wow.
And you just got to let go at that point and say, you know what, either I'm going to embrace these motherfuckers, because obviously they're looking at my shit. It's soaking in their brain. I might as well just embrace these fuckers. And Estevon would always tell me that, hey, man, go rap to that youngster, man. Let him know. Even though his shit looks exactly like you, he's borderline stalker shit. And, hey, if you can make a living off that shit, fuck it. Because I was influenced by other people that maybe even they weren't even artists, but they were like someone that I looked up to. So
right, incredible.
Yeah, but the movie I'm gonna end it with this. Is about, I think, hip hop and tattooing colliding too.
Yeah.
Where prior that you walk into a tattoo shop, you listen to country music. They're listening to rock, punk rock, a lot of punk rock, which is cool. And I like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd. I like some fucking.
You sure do.
I can hear everything, but hip hop. There wasn't a bunch of Mexicans at the shop with hip hop and oldies on. That's damn sure.
And you know what's crazy is that influence went into hip hop, right? And then the R&B cats started doing what the hip hop heads were doing and getting all fucking tatted up too.
That changed.
Yeah.
Yes.
That changed the game because they were all, squeaky clean. Well, not squeaky clean, but I mean, none of them had ink on them.
No. And speaking of that, Usher called, right? They go, hey, Usher want a tattoo. I mean, he's in his prime at this point. So I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. I grab my shit. I hit up E. I go, Stefon, what do you think? He goes, go to his hotel right now. Like, just rush that shit. Don't think about it. Don't be too cool. Just go. I'm like a barber. Fuck it. I'll roll over there. I'm sitting down with them. I go, so what's up? Well, Usher, what do you want to do, man? He goes, well, I want something that reflects my art and my heart and my experience, and I want something that's like my dreams and my thoughts. And he goes, I want my soul right here. I want my soul.
Wow. And my spirit.
Let me get this straight. I go, that's tight. I go, so you want the word SOUL, like really like script, like hook? He goes, no, I want my soul on my arm. So I go, if you know what a soul looks like, we can both make some money. They laugh, right?
Hell yeah.
Stone face. I go, technically, your soul is invisible, so you have the tattoo. That'll be $5,000. I said, that's what's called a painless tattoo.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, he didn't even get none of that shit. He didn't smile.
Went over his head.
Man. He ended up getting a bunch of tattoos, and he's a cool guy. But yeah, people will come to you with wild concepts that do not translate.
Right.
That do not translate on paper.
So this question's for both of you guys. How do both of you guys, because we know both of you are very passionate. How do you guys stop yourself from getting burned out? Because, when you do something like anything in life for a long time, sometimes you wake up and you hate going to your job. How do you guys keep it fresh for yourself so that you don't get burned out and you stay in the game?
We are competitive, for me, I have competitive genes in me, for me, I just want to strive for the best. And I always feel like I'm just getting started. Even though I've been doing this shit for 25 years and people are like, hey man, how do you feel? Your movie's number 6 in the world, in the country on Netflix. Do you know how big that is? I was like, yeah, I'm going for Joe Exotica. I'm going for him. I want his spot.
Yeah.
I want number 1.
Stan Exotica.
Yeah, I want Estevan Exotica. And so but in my head, I'm thinking fuck, these motherfuckers think this is good. Wait till they see what I got coming. I'm just getting started.
Correct.
And then I'm thinking getting started, fool, you've been doing this for 25 years. You ain't getting started nothing. But in my head, that's what I really think. I'm just getting started. Wait till you see what I got coming next.
Right. So it doesn't feel like 25 years. It feels like you're just keeping it moving.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like I'm burning out or nothing. It feels like I'm just.
That's fantastic.
Every day I wake up, I feel like I'm just getting started. If you can see right here, right about there, I got that sauna. I didn't go buy the gold chain when I got my record deal. I went and bought a sauna.
Nice.
And I wake up every morning and I hit that shit with the cold plunge in between, and I'm on fire. I just come out of that motherfucker pumped up. My pit bull runs when he sees me. He's like, oh shit. He's like, whoo.
How about you, Toon? How do you keep it fresh, bro?
Well, I just go over to Dr. Greenthumb's and I invest in some quality flowers. That makes life a whole hell of a lot easier to deal with. And then I'm like E, man. I'm still like, I don't know, a kid with his hoodie on, with a spray paint can in his hand, like wanting to battle and shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how old I gotta be to stop bumping the stereo in my car, my trunk just rattling. I'm gonna have full head of gray hair, old as fuck, still fresh. You know what I mean? So I have new shit on. I don't know. I think everything revolves around that. Like, just now, every 10 years, you have to reintroduce yourself, right? So right now, there's a bunch of kids who are just finding out about us. Even though you guys have been around in the scene, we've already known each other. But everybody else, they don't know. Yeah. So they've never seen that backstage Cypress Hill shit. They had no idea maybe that Cypress Hill played the stadiums, crowds of people and shit like that.
Correct.
Like, these motherfuckers ain't even caught up to that shit. But it's these are kids from Southgate that did that shit. Like, this is what a miracle to me. Like, this is not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to. When Cypress got on The Simpsons, I was like,
crazy. That's crazy.
They maxed out. That's it. You can't go no higher.
Right.
And then maybe about a couple years later, Matt Groening chose me to do a project with Vans, and he drew my portrait.
Wow.
And I was just like, man, this is crew shit. Like, this is all for the crew. Like, my homeboys opened the door so that we can do that shit. So, like, everyone listening to this shit, you got to surround yourself by people that are like-minded, man, that want to get good shit, Yeah, don't hang around some motherfucker complaining ass, fucking biting motherfuckers.
Yeah.
100. Congrats on the movie, but
thank you, bro.
How would you compare the Los Angeles graffiti scene of now to when you were like starting?
I mean, it's got its mountains, that goes up and down. Like, when it was real innocent when I started, man, we used Krylon paint. We had to go steal the tips. There was only a handful. Everyone knew who each other was. It was the late 80s, and then the 90s shit started to change. And then it kind of got played out. People were like, man, fuck that shit, it's corny. Fools went more into gangs and shit like that. And then the tagging, you started getting into like tagging crews and all. So you see it go through these different transformations, and then the spray paint starts getting real good. Like, they start making this European Cadillac spray paint with pressure sensitive tips, and I'm like, oh shit. Like, I could just straight up use this shit for art jobs and shit.
Right.
And then these kids out of Europe start doing graffiti. It looks like oil masterpieces in Sistine Chapel,
Wow.
And so everything improved, man. People just start getting better. And the style in LA came out where it's like a mix of Old English and bombing wild style from East Coast. It starts morphing into this extra shit. And crews start producing designers, clothing designers. These guys were working for as like tastemakers and shit just from being graph writers. And then guys like, say, recently Retina and these other Banksy and these type of, especially from LA, like a Retina or Risk, start doing big contemporary art museums. And then our shit starts going to contemporary art museums. When we start doing art in the streets and the Mocha, they had my Chevy Bomb on a boat going to fucking China. It was supposed to be an Art Basel in Hong Kong. And the shit got sent back, got canceled and shit. So we went just from like more innocent bombing, riding on fucking buses and little wall murals in the neighborhood to the shit's just on a global scale with the stupid quality spray paint. And I don't know. I show my kids now more as an art form than they're actually go right on the walls. My kids know how to do that shit.
That's crazy. Have you passed out a lot of your artistic skills to your kids? Are they into it?
Yeah, all my kids are into it. I have a new improved me coming. He's taller. He's better looking. He's fucking skilled. This little fucker's badass, man. My little Estevan is his name. Right. And wait till you guys get a load of this kid. I already got him an OVO campaign where he shot. The kid's on the come up, man. He's a little humble fucker. And he's my little prototype right now. I've been washing his brain his whole life so he can be successful, be cool and humble. So
same way your mom did.
Yeah, it helps. Thank you. I got moms too. He's got her looks and my brains, dog. This kid,
amazing.
Right on, man. How does it feel to be getting all these fucking props right now? Because everybody who's seen it loves the documentary, and there's motherfuckers that have hit me on it, you know, giving me props on it, like I produced it with y'all and shit like that.
Well, you came off clean in there.
They're like, I've watched it like fucking 3 times already, man.
It's amazing.
It's the hardest thing ever.
Hey, I think me and Estevan are where you guys were when you dropped your first album.
All right.
We only like, many years we behind each. We got it there when we were 50. But no, it feels great, man, because that old footage, man, you can't get that shit. You know what I mean? Scan had to lug around them heavy ass cameras.
Oh yeah.
Shit's a pain in the fucking ass. Now people have an amazing shit in the phone, you know?
Yeah.
But he shot that shit with film, had to go develop that shit.
Yeah.
But you read the comments, man, and people are really hyped to see them multiple times, like you said.
Well, that look of authenticity, man, is just unbelievable. The graininess on film and all that just beats out all that shit. So when you see it, like, I got a 17-year-old and a 23-year-old here to touch on what you're saying, Toon. You know, every 10 years, you got to turn them onto this shit. And when they seen this shit, they were bugging the fuck out. They couldn't even believe what they were seeing. Both of your stories combined, it's crazy. I get goosebumps talking about it because it's just such a success story, you know? It's like truly amazing. And it flipped their lids. My roommate upstairs watched it twice already. She's like, what is this?
most people are commenting like that they've watched it multiple times already because they it's that like that shit. Like there was so much visually that if you weren't paying attention, you might have missed fucking something. You know what I mean? And there were those moments. So people have been watching it multiple fucking times, man. And it's just like when you get the album for the first time. You know, you hear it, you run it back like, you know, 3-4 fucking times the first time you get it, right?
Hell yeah.
That's
amazing. Hell yeah. 10 times in a row.
And to speak to that footage you were talking about, Toon, we were talking about this shit on the skis thing the other day, but like that time that we were in Rockford, Illinois, we were upstate, you know, because I think we were doing either Smoking Grooves or Lollapalooza or some shit at that time. I can't remember exactly what tour that was. And we had went to the movies and we smoked out the movie theater and we came back to see those cops chilling by our bus. Yeah. And we thought they were going to give us a hard time, but you know, it revealed the fact that the sergeant or the captain, whoever that was, of that particular you know, police station that was close by, their grandson or granddaughter or whatever was a Cypress Hill fan, and they offered us the you know, an escort to the gig, if you will, that they would have squad cars, whatever, escort our bus straight to the gig. And
that's
we accepted, right? But then the next day when they came up, they said, how about one of you or two of you guys drive a couple of the squad cars to the gig? I drove one, Muggs drove one, Estevon got in the back of my car, and he filmed that whole experience, and we were just whipping through the city.
Were the lights on and the siren?
They let us flip the Whalers on. We even answered a call. Remember that? A call came over the radio that there was a disturbance at the fucking grocery store. It's two old ladies fighting over a fucking shopping cart.
Wow.
That was big. That was big news over there.
That was big.
There was that, and the other big call they had before that was there was a cat stuck in the tree.
Oh, wow. That's like a movie.
Yeah, but B, you forgot to mention our other cameraman that was sitting in the back of the car with Muggs.
Oh yeah,
and it was a young and tender alchemist.
Oh wow,
young
and tender.
Yeah, he was
Mudfoot.
Yeah, Mudfoot. He was, filming. He was like a B camera, second camera unit. Wow. He got in the back and he filmed Muggs. And
do you got that footage too?
I got the footage, and so does he. He got his footage, and I was over at his studio the other day, and he goes, "Hey, look at this! Remember you had me go in the car with Muggs?" And he goes, "I felt like you were dissing me because." He shows the footage where he comes up to get in the car. I go, "Nah, homie," and I lock the door. Go in the car with Muggs. And he was like, "Oh, okay, all right." And he's like, he goes, "How about I felt like I was getting dissed, but you were just telling me to go in that car so I could get extra footage."
Of course, that's a smart thing.
You know what I mean? But
I think he didn't want to get in that car with Muggs because Muggs is a maniac.
Crazier.
Yeah. He probably thought they'd be getting a high-speed chase or something.
That's funny. Hey, Stefon, what do you prefer now that you've been on the aspect of both photography or directing? I mean, with the success of this documentary scene that you directed and all, are you going to lean more towards directing things, or are you just always going to have that camera in your hand to take those stills?
I'll always take pictures for the rest of my life, but I've done everything you can do in photography. I've been in magazines, done album covers, had art shows, been in museums, published books. This is like the natural progression for me coming from a video director is to go into directing films. I love documentaries. I love telling stories, but my ultimate goal would be to do, a feature film here in LA.
Amazing.
Or, so I always wanted to do, back when I saw City of Gods, I was like, man, I want to do a
Incredible.
City of Gods of LA. Or when I saw Chopper, I wanted to do, a homie from here, There was just a beast mode like that for, and I've always just wanted to do those type of films. I never really wanted to do like a blockbuster movie, like a Batman or a Superman or anything that. I wanted to do more, realistic type shit.
That sounds incredible. Yeah, plus it's just grittier too. I like those movies that you mentioned right there. It's like it's a movie, fictional in some sort, but it's filmed like a documentary, and those are some of the best kind of flicks, seriously.
You better put me in your movie, fool.
That's Estevon.
Oh yeah. Don't be surprised if we come out with a Cypress Hill documentary next.
we need a lefty movie.
Lefty series. Let me ask you guys a question real quick.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys a question. Were any of you guys surprised when you caught off guard when you seen the Kobe interview?
Oh, seriously? My heart dropped. And I had a question lined up for you, Tune, on how hard were you really hit like that when you heard about Kobe? Because basically, he died with your art on his body, and that's got to weigh heavy.
Yeah. That's deep shit. I mean, it kept a lot from me and Ida not, let people know that interview was coming when all that shit happened. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we wanted, with the age of social media, no one seems surprised anymore, man, other than like something like that, his death. Everything, man, I know what fools are eating already. I know what their kids graduated from school and this. Every detail you know about someone's life. So we wanted to keep that part quiet and catch people off guard, because I think people probably, I imagine, would get emotional seeing that shit,
Yeah.
You could not even know dude, and just you seen him grow up on TV and shit, and you see like how his character is.
Why here? I gotta change locations. Hold on, guys.
All right. And he's one of the Gardner will show up, COVID, no COVID, the Gardner, the pool man. Hey, but yeah, I think when my son was having a little art show, you know what I'm saying? And when it happened, and I don't know how to compare it too much, maybe than what, maybe JFK would have felt like, or, You know, like I remember when Eazy-E passed or when Tupac passed. You know, it was like a sadness and shit, man.
For real.
Because dude will sit there and bullshit with you, you know what I mean? And he helped a lot of people out. And
yeah, he was really generous.
And I was thinking if Trump would have closed shit down when we heard about it first and just stopped everything, Kobe would be quarantined and shit and he wouldn't have been able to jump on that fucking plane, you know what I'm saying?
Wow, that's a mind fuck right there.
Well, yeah, because they knew in November. They even knew, you know, further back than that.
I think I had that shit, to be honest with you, in January, because I got the sickest I've ever been in my whole life.
No shit.
Yeah, that shit was no joke. It knocked me on my ass, and all the symptoms they're saying, it was that, you know, I had like the worst pain in my head I've ever felt. I felt like I got jumped.
You had the shortness of breath?
Yeah, well, I had so much congestion, I couldn't even breathe. I was like,
yeah, that's where it comes from. I mean, I felt like after it was right after the last Prophets tour that we came back from, I got really fucking sick.
Yeah, it could have been that.
And that was in January. I told my doctor, they were like,
about people in California were exposed to it, you know, as far back as fucking last year.
That's insane.
No one was talking about it, you know, so it could be that we got, you know, some built up immunity. That's supposedly, you know, a theory out there, but fuck, I don't know. But like, yeah, I definitely got sick last year. Something that hit me like a little bit harder than most. You know?
The craziest symptom I've heard of is losing your sense of taste and smell.
Yeah.
That's
extra.
I didn't have that.
That would freak me out.
That would have been fucked up, man. Trying to smoke weed and you can't taste it.
Yeah, the guitar player Slayer caught it, and he was talking about it on the podcast.
I think if you get the vids, you know it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got vids. That, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Damn.
Hey, Estevan, I wanted to ask you a question that really touched me in the documentary where you talked about social media at the end of the doc, where you're like, algorithms and shit and all kept you inspired, because, you know, like, there's a lot of talented people out there that don't get thousands of likes. And you really, like, showed your side of that part, the frustration, you know? Yeah, there's a lot of people that are talented but don't get thousands of views and likes and shit like that.
Yeah, what's the question?
I think he's asking if you think social media is killing the craft of photography, because everybody thinks they're a fucking photographer now, you know?
Yeah, it's watered it down to the point where everything has been seen, and there's so much shit out there, it's like hard to find the good stuff, you know?
Right,
and,
it's oversaturated.
Yeah, it's oversaturated, it's watered down, and it's so easy. Like, I go do a photo shoot, and people are hitting me up, like, afterwards, like, hey, so do you know when you'll send me the pictures? I just am getting home from the photo shoot. I'm like, damn, man, let me go home and fucking unwind and eat something or take a shit or something.
Right. They want everything instantly.
Yeah, they're like, hey, can you keep working while I'm sitting at home on my fat ass feeding myself and watching TV? Can you keep working? I'm like, no, motherfucker, I want to do what you're doing, and let me rest a little bit, and then I'll get you your fucking pictures. But, you know, as far as social media goes, I don't have those problems no more. Ever since the movie came out a couple of days ago, I got 100,000 followers. Thank you very much. Motherfuckers liking that shit. I got comments up their ass. I got hundreds and hundreds of DMs. I don't even know. I can't even fucking go in my DM no more. I don't even answer. I have over 100-something texts, hundreds of emails.
There you go.
It's like fucking crazy.
The algorithm is working.
That's a good description.
Hey,
hell yeah.
You know how I felt on the days of the smokeout, dog. People I never heard from.
I'm getting, you know, this number right here is the same phone number that I got from House of Pain. I never changed my number, so I'm getting calls from dudes that I knew on tour from House of Pain, going, "Hey, bro, I just saw the doc. You know, remember me 25 years ago? I just want to tell you congratulations. You know, thank you, fam, for telling the story and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that fool.
Hey, you know what else I wanted to ask about for you guys is it must have really fucking blew your mind when you went overseas to like Japan and saw the lowrider Chicano look carrying over into the Eastern world like that. Was that something that just blew your mind, or were you like, of course, you know, we're the shit, you know, why wouldn't it?
No way, it blew my mind, blew my socks off. That shit was crazy as fuck to. You know, because we've been going over there for years. Like, you know, I went there with House of Pain and Cypress Hill, and you see the Japanese fans going and singing every single song during the show. Like, they'd sing Killer Man, and they're jumping like as high as they could jump. And then as soon as the song is over, the crowd is completely quiet. It'd go to crickets.
Wow, that's such a trip.
Damn. But that's all they knew was the song. So you would see how they would respond to our homies' music. So for them to respond to our art and our shit, you know, outside of that, it was like, you know, we've seen it before, but it's the feeling that you get when it's your shit, you know?
Right.
You're like, damn, this is dope, you know?
Plus, it shows, you know, the reason they're quiet in between is because 90% of those people in that crowd can't understand what you're saying anyways.
Exactly.
So they're just literally, that's like the purity of the music right there. You're getting that full burst of energy for that song because they are 100% into the music, you know? So that's got to be a fucking awesome feeling.
So, Mr. Cartoon, I got a question in regards to tattoos. Has there ever been like, everybody's so happy with your tattoos and like, it's just like a big privilege to get it, but has there ever been a tattoo even during your transition phase where you're like, fuck, that was a bad tattoo, and like somebody's not happy with it, you know? Because that, I've heard that does happen if somebody's been tattooing for so long.
Yeah, you know, eventually after doing thousands of people, you know, you get some guy that comes in, he's got leather skin, bro. It's like fucking trying to tattoo a stucco wall, you know what I'm saying? Like motherfucker got psoriasis on there. You're just like, I go, hey Holmes, you should throw some lotion on that shit sometimes, man. Like, it's not, lotion's just not, you know, you can use it for your arms too.
Yeah.
And so you got to work on that shit, man. And it's just like, and then a lot of times people have, not a lot, but sometimes people have shitty ideas.
Right.
And I'm just like, man, you came to me for that shit? Like, if you come to me, man, just don't be a weirdo. Just get a fucking broad on your arm, a chola with a rose, or a fucking skull, in like a cypress skull, or get some man shit, get some cool shit. Don't get some weird writing by your fucking belly button or try to ask for
some flowers.
Like that. You know? But yeah, sometimes they'll ask for some way out shit, and I'm just be like, I don't even take a picture of it. You know what I mean? It's just not me. But 80, maybe 85% of the time, they just want what I want to do.
Wow.
So,
thank God. Thanks the Lord for that.
Yeah, it's better, man. And every time I got to go out the box, sometimes it's cool, sometimes it's not. You would never even know I did that shit because it's a fucking weirdo shit, but not so weird because it's black and gray, and I tried my hardest to make it look cool because it's still, I did it. But yeah, most of the time, it's positive shit.
Hey, let me ask you this, or what do you got to ask C-? I could see that you want to ask.
No. Yeah, let's see C-.
Does anybody want a tortilla with a hot dog?
Keeping it old school.
Is that a vegan one right there?
Yeah, this is vegan.
Sounds good.
Vegan hot dog with an almond flour tortilla.
I used to do that shit when I was a kid. Oh, you know about those low carb tortillas?
Yeah, that's why I got this. Look, watch out! Woo, jawline
showing off his jawline.
What up, C?
Yo, I had a question for Estevan. I know when you said, like, you know, you've toured with, Cypress, and you toured with House of Pain, and I had the pleasure of touring with you at Blink-182 on that tour that you talked about in the documentary. Has there ever been, like, someone, like, you turned down because but it was, like, later on you could look back and be like, oh, damn, I turned that down. All right, cool. Is there, like, any big groups of any genre that you turned down for tour managing?
No, I never put myself out there like I was available to tour manage another band. It was always like, I'm rolling with Cypress, and if I'm not rolling with Cypress, I'm not rolling.
Because when you go work for another band after being with Cypress, it's like, this sucks, bro. These guys, like you were saying earlier, Cypress don't a tight ship, bro. It's like, another band and they're not, you don't even want to be there.
Yeah, then it feels like a job, you know, like it's not your family no more. It's like you're doing a job, and it's like, it's still a cool job. Like, I cannot fucking believe that I used to get paid to fly on planes first class, stay in 5-star hotels, you know, go on stage with the biggest bands in the world, and, you know, see some of the hottest chicks in the world, and go to the coolest places in the world. Like, I used to get paid for that shit, and that fucking shit blows me away. Like, when people go like, hey man, you know, how do you feel like if, you know, something happened to you? I'd be like, I'm cool. If I died, I'm cool, because I lived a fucking incredible life. I had like great people around me all the time, and I did incredible shit. Like, if I die tomorrow, you know, like Pink Floyd says, you know, I'm not afraid to die. Like, I had an incredible life, man.
You're still going, brother.
Yeah. Like I said, I'm just getting started.
That's right.
Tune.
Yo,
how many color tattoos have you done?
What's that?
How many color tattoos?
Oh, color tattoos?
Have you done ever?
I have done none.
Incredible! Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, I made it through my whole career.
When you think about it, right? How many hours you've put into it, and how many people you've tattooed? You know, not one color tattoo. That should be in the Guinness Book of World Records.
No joke. No joke.
Yeah, it's, you know what? I don't have any color tattoos, so I don't do them, but I like how they look, you know what I mean? But my friends were best in the world-class artists at that shit. I was like, I'm not even going to try to compete with those motherfuckers, because I do like other shit in color, you know what I mean? It's just color tattoos are also twice the work.
Right. You got to fill everything.
So I've had a bunch of other high, like eighth grade level tattooers tell me, man, you got over. They go, if I could start my career all over again, I would never touch color.
Wow.
Because if you look at one of my tattoos and it's finished, they still got to pump the color into that thing.
Oh, yeah. That hurts.
You ever see a situation where a tattoo artist will do a collaborative piece on one person? Or is that already happening?
No, it's done at like conventions usually. It's like pulling a train on a broad. You got to do it, but it's not always fun. You know what I'm saying? You do it when you're a kid, is what I'm trying to say. And it's weird because when you're tattooing, two people tattooing on someone, they're always moving.
Right.
So they'll tattooing. If you can figure out how to do a tattoo, that shit is hard as fuck to do. But if you can figure that far out, then the other factor is that your canvas shows up drunk, and it's a know-it-all, and hopefully didn't go to art school. Then they're gonna art direct the art director, and it just fucks the whole flow up. So there's all these different factors when you're trying to tattoo someone that's moving around. So when two people tattoo the one, it's very difficult. You got to do it with like a crazy professional, someone who's been doing it longer than you.
Correct. Wow. Hey, what about some of the side characters in the documentary, like Lepke and Pepper?
Oh yeah, that breaks it up. You know what I mean? Those motherfuckers are crazy characters, man. Stefon, you still there?
Stefon's out.
Yeah, but those guys, man, like no one can say we don't help nobody, you know what I mean? But sometimes I think I have more of a chance of being fucked up with them than them changing, being fucking successful, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. There's a lot of footage.
Drag me in.
There's a lot of footage of you guys rolling around the downtown area, like in the shit. It's like, it wasn't like you guys had this stigma about you, like you were too good to fucking hang out in the hood anymore. I mean, you guys were right there in the shit. It was kind of trippy.
Yeah, we still are. I mean, we've been down there since the mid '90s. I mean, I seen a TV show. I might be showing my age here, but it was called T.J. Hooker.
Yeah.
And he was
Shatner.
driving his car into his living room, and I was like, I go, that motherfucker's got class right there. I got to do some shit like that. So that was always my dream, to like have my Lolos in my living space. But an artist for us, a loft had never been heard of. I never knew no one that lived in a loft. But, you know, people in the music industry lived in lofts, but we didn't live in those lofts. Like, you didn't see any homies living in there. So when we got our loft, man, everyone would come over, man, and we fucking party. We were single. We'd have a fucking 10 girls a night over there. Hood rats. You just hear their heels going down the fucking hallway. And, you know, we did that for fucking years. And, you know, I met my wife there in one of those parties. You know what I'm saying? And now we have 4 children. We're at the baby valet. I might be getting a latte or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But don't get it fucked up. I got an SS outside and shit on 22s.
Hey, how many rides do you got currently right now?
Well, you know, if my wife basically said one more car and I need there's gonna be with therapists come in and fucking what's that show called? Fucking intervention. But nah, you know, I love cars, man. I grew up in body shops, hanging out in auto body shops, and I would do murals on them. And all my heroes that muraled lowriders never owned a car.
Oh, wow.
And I could never understand it, but it's the plumber's sink is leaking. The electrician hasn't put his fucking, you know, changed his fucking fire alarm shit. I don't know. I just said, you know what? I think you're supposed to have that shit. You're supposed to have a low. Like, if you're in this game, you should have a lowrider. So I have a lowrider for every artist that don't have one. No, but I got up to like two dozen at one time. Like 25 cars is very hard to maintain. It's good to brag about at the barbecue, but it is a motherfucker to maintain that shit.
Oh yeah. Hey,
but now I'm down to like a dozen. I got about a dozen classic cars, but they're all very sentimental. Like shit's I'll hand down to my kids.
Do you get people trying to rent them out for videos?
Yeah, I mean, we did your guys' videos, and I don't do it no more because your car gets almost damaged every time you go and do some shit like that, and then they take you hostage. But every once in a while, like I think I did a Schoolboy Q video. Like if I like the artist, you know, and I hear a lot of your shit and Schoolboy Q shit. Like he's heavily influenced.
That's the homie right there. I've worked with him a couple times. Salute to, you know, my man Schoolboy Q.
Yeah, he's dope, man, because he gets it and shit.
Yeah, for sure.
And I see the influence, man. And you know, I got influence from other people coming up, man. The other tattooers that I remember seeing this one tattoo he pulled up and he had a brand new big body. And I was like, damn, I never forgot that shit. And B had a big S class. Like the first time I seen like a homie with the S class, you know what I mean? And of course, he was a brand new car, started smoking weed in it. I was like, damn, that's out of hand right there. That was the shit. The shit. We can talk about for hours, man, right. How hard it was to get weed, chronic weed, because we just called it chronic, Indo. In 1993 was a motherfucker. 94, you know what I mean?
It was tough.
And B always had fucking the shit. And that's where we got educated, man, with weed and what weed was about, and the strains and how you act, how you maintain, how you use it more on a spiritual level. Like, you know, just being at B's house, mom cooking, seeing the kids running around, and B's blowing in the living room, and I'm like, wow. You know, 'cause I had seen people smoke cigarettes in the household, which was outrageous because my parents didn't smoke cigarettes, right? But to see that weed and family go together. I tried to pull that shit off the other day. It didn't go over. But I have a late start. You got to introduce with that shit. You got to be. He's the Buddha master, so it's not the same thing. But I tried. My house smells like weed. But I just am not. You know, the way he made it so spiritual, man. That was, I think, the difference. That shit will never leave my head.
It was a part of life. Still is.
He's still doing the same shit to us now.
Yeah, we all became that way. Cartoon, what do you enjoy smoking? Since you said you like not before it was chronic, but like now it's you know, you say you go to the Greenthumb Selmar, so you probably noticed that you have a lot of options. What do you prefer?
Well, you know, before I used to think I just wanted to smoke Blue Dream all the time because it reminded me of the old school, like Hawaiian weed or some shit, right?
Something.
And then people were like, "Man, don't smoke Blue Dream." Like no one smokes that shit. And I'm like, "Damn, man, fuck that, fuck me, fuck my strain." And
who said that?
Everyone I know gets the strongest, most potent Kush possible. So I just do that now pretty much, man. I'm over my sativa phase where I thought I can maintain better and this and that. Just give me the best weed possible, Holmes.
Get it over with.
You know,
OG.
Get it done.
I stand to like an OG, but I'll experiment just because in my brain I think the president's going to make weed illegal again. So I just try to get as much as I can. And like, I still don't believe it. Me and Bees have to go to the other side of the fucking planet, Holmes, to Amsterdam to do this shit. You know, to walk in. I got greedy then and bought way too much weed and shit.
Then you got to figure out what you're going to do with it.
Yeah, you got to figure out. That's the thing about going to Amsterdam and overbuying weed. Like, it's just going to leave and you got like fucking 4 ounces. And
it happens every time.
It was fire, though. It was still good. And, that was some wild shit. They just don't put the porn and the hookers and everything. They haven't got that open-minded yet. You know, it's a good thing I had Be Real with me too in Amsterdam because I was like, if B and all like my normal friends were in here, I might go dark in this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Go do some real drugs and shit. Fuck around and get stuck. They offered me a job there. They were like, "Tune, you want to work at the tattoo shop?" I go, "Look, man, that's a beautiful offer, but I'll fucking kill myself."
That's very interesting you said that. We were on tour when Julio G was DJing, and what was that guy's name, Be Real? He had a guy from Venice, I think, that lives out there.
We know him, Mark.
Yeah, Hollywood Mark, man.
Yeah, man, we would go out and get trashed with that guy. He would come out, like me, Julio, and him would just go out and check out the town, and that boy would get trashed.
Yeah, like if you go to any town, you don't know no one, you just go to the best tattoo shop, show your fucking shit, say, "Toom said what's up," and then they're gonna get all the good shit.
Yeah,
you know,
they're in.
Especially in like Europe.
Yeah.
Hey, you know it's a trip. I just saw Hanky Panky the other.
Man,
last trips.
Yeah, Hanky Panky's for all you guys that don't know, he's a Holland legend, the main shop in Amsterdam, and man, Be Real, and then we used to walk in there and that whole place would light up, man. All the tattooers would stand up. They couldn't fucking believe it. But imagine if all you guys been to Amsterdam?
Yeah, I've been there.
I have not yet.
I don't think it's the same, huh? That Hanky Panky's tattoo shop is not the same.
Yeah,
it's toned down.
Yeah, he's in another spot now.
Yeah, I got the pleasure of tattooing him in Holland, man, and he's yelling, "You're hurting me!" He's nervous and shit, you know, because he's been tattooing a long time, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah, man. It was good to see him. You know, he did the dragon one that I got. You know, what I'm saying? And I hadn't seen him in a long time, but it was good to see him. He was in good spirit, good shape. You know what I'm saying? He's still.
His daughter hangs out in LA. She's really cool. I met her at like Supreme store.
All right.
You know, I was painting every year. I would paint the window of Supreme for the holidays, but I always did some pretty fucking blasphemous shit. You know what I mean? I had like Jesus and and Santa Claus partying with champagne.
Yeah.
Or like, I don't know, fucking bubble butt, snow butt. So I just do crazy shit. They just let me do whatever I wanted and shit. But that was cool.
You know, something else I noticed in the documentary was when Ryan Philippe was talking about how he would meet people that he didn't know. The only common denominator was the ink they had by you. Does that happen a lot? You hear about like how people meet each other and the whole way they met each other is like, oh, you got a tattoo by, oh, so do I. Boom. And then they meet, you know?
For sure. I mean, you're in a brotherhood, like, once you get a tattoo, because you've been through the experience here. Right. I'm going to show up late. That's part of the experience. And then I'm going to make it up by ordering us some bomb food. I order food for the client. They can smoke in the shop. I got beer. It's yours. This is your day. This is your shit. We're focusing on your tattoo. And you're going to be there for 6 hours. We talk about life, family, kids, religion, politics. You know what I'm saying? Right. And even if you get one session here, we become, if you're not out of your fucking mind, we can become friends. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So those guys can kind of see each other on the street and know that they went through a similar thing. I've been to so many tattoo shops. I know what my shop, I didn't want it to look like. I wanted to be able to, like, you could bring your wife there and use the bathroom, and that shit looks legit clean, like a fucking hotel. You know what I mean? Where tattoo shops can get pretty raunchy, pretty loose, you know, as you can imagine.
We've been
fuck around and get a staph infection on the toilet. What was that, B?
We've been in many, you know.
Hell yeah, and that's how it was, you know. And I just went private right off the gate. I just locked myself up in a loft and did that. I've been social distancing and isolating for about 20 years now.
Yeah, man.
Hey, man, I want to thank you.
Thank you, brother. We lost our boy.
Yeah, we lost our boy, man. I want to thank y'all for taking the time for jumping on the podcast with us.
For sure, man. Thank you.
People got to watch the documentary, man, LA Originals.
Right. Let's get that Rotten Tomatoes score up. Everybody go vote on Rotten Tomatoes for the documentary. Yeah. It's at 60 right now. Let's get that shit up in the 90s.
Hell yeah. Thank you for everyone that watched it. Thanks for all you guys for being on this, man. The cool-ass questions. Appreciate it, man.
All good.
Up, man. Thank you. Anybody got shout-outs before we go? C-? Is
he gone too?
Nah, I just got muted. Thanks everyone tuned in for this. You could also catch me on Mixcloud. I've been dumping mixes weekly and daily sometimes, just a bunch of mixes of just a lot of what I play, music, hip hop and rock. And yeah, C- fan for all the social medias.
Bet. Dougie.
Yeah, you can find me at OG Poor Kid. I just use Instagram. Fuck everything else. Short and quick. Boom, boom.
You can follow me at DJ Lane Ducano and head over to funkyfieldtips.com. The Cypress Hill 10mm classic clear funky field tips are out now.
Skinny Pablo.
Yo, skinnypablo.com. I was talking to the bar like it was a microphone, but skinnypablo.com.
Shout outs. Shout out, Cee Lo.
Oh shit! New episode of High and Hungry coming out for you guys, and also the High and Hungry COVID-19 edition. The merch has been selling out. The fucking mask sold out, but they're being refilled. The face shield sold out, but I'm restocking back on those, and I got 2 more masks coming out this week at flavorsbyezone.com.
So DJ Nels.
I just want to shout out Mr. Cartoon and Estevon and
thank you.
I'm just so happy that you guys are getting your flowers while you're still here. You deserve everything you guys are getting, plus more. Just salute to you guys, honestly.
Thank you, man.
Word up. And this has been another Dr. Greenthumb podcast. Make sure you check it out. Check out LA Originals. Fuck with my man Cartoon, Mr. Cartoon, and Estevan Oriol, man. Watch it like 10 times.
Yeah.
Word up.
And check me out every Sunday at Soul Sundays.
Yeah.
Word up, man.